been thinking about packing facilities for probably my whole life in feeding cattle. You know, we could see the lopsided balance of power that, you know, we buy everything at the sale barns. We pay the highest of anybody else that day will buy cattle for, and then we feed them, we go through all the work, and at the end of the day, we don't get any say in how we sell cattle, the price we sell cattle. My belief is we're tied to an old antiquated system, the CME, the Chicago Board of Trade. We're tied to that as a pricing mechanism, and that really doesn't represent the market forces of today. So about 5 years ago, we started getting really serious thinking about, we have a lot of cattle on feed. We could see the problems. We could see a capacity issue. There was a huge capacity issue in the upper Midwest. We had more cattle on feed than we had processing space, or at least we were right on the edge of what it could handle. We saw our processing capacity running at basically 99 to 100%. So we started down the path as a company, looking into building a packing plant, starting to discuss it, and we felt pretty comfortable we were on our way to build a packing plant in the beginning stages, and then the Holcomb, Kansas fire happens. And it really just overnight exposed the problems in our industry. That the second that plant came out of commission, we did not have anywhere close to the capacity we needed to process the cattle on feed. Cattle got backed up, the market dropped drastically. And you know, in that situation, I don't blame the big four packers for that. I mean, they can't get the cattle through. There's never going to be a situation where we get paid premium money for cattle that they cannot process. It makes perfect sense. So the markets drop. That was just the beginning of a long 2-year stretch, as we all know today. Right on its heels, COVID hit, devastated the market again for another year. There was cyber attacks. There were some small rendering fires, but there was about 6, 7, some major, some small things that kept negatively influencing this market. The whole time we were developing up our Cattlemen's Heritage plant. And what it really did was reinforce, not just to us, it reinforced the USDA, it reinforced to anybody that's looking at the packing industry today that we are on the edge of the knife and we need to add capacity into this space. So a lot of these packing plants that are in the operation today, they're 40, 50, 60, 70 in some instances years old, and you're going to continue to see problems with older plants. There's no way around it. The other thing we think about as a model, the large plants that sit in certain areas, you know, that can process 5,000 to 6,000 head a day, we think those are products of a bygone era, frankly. I think the future of the cattle industry is mid-size regional plants with producer participation that really have its finger on the pulse of the industry up close. So through all that thought process, we come up with Cattlemen's Heritage. 1,500 head a day is where we started. Well, actually we started at 500 head a day. We thought, can we build a plant at 500 head a day? The economy didn't work there. The scales of economics didn't work there. We looked at 1,000. At 1,500 head a day, the plant really made a lot of sense. The numbers worked. So we started down that path. Recently, in the last 30 days, when we heard that National has decided not to expand in Tama in Iowa and the need for capacity in Iowa, we have made the decision to go to 2,000 head a day at our facility. So we will be processing roughly 540,000 head of cattle a year. As a side note, the state of Iowa has 1 million head of cattle a year shipped out of the state to surrounding states to be processed. So the state of Iowa is prime for a packing plant like this. We can capture half of the cattle that are leaving the state, keep the cattle in the state, keep the money in the state. I think it's a great win for the producers of the state, rural, and the rural Iowans, right?